Hey everyone, it's Carrie Heaps here with Chromatic Council, and I am coming back to you with a color card reading for spring for 2026. So I'm going to do just a quick overview of what this is. These color readings are for colors that you need to have around you that you can actually physically view. It's not like your color card that you would get if you're a spring season that you would use to choose color selection for your clothing. This is about the colors you want to have around you during the year. Now, keep in mind too, with these color readings, these are for entertainment purposes only. If you don't know what your season is and you have not had a seasonal color analysis, you can click on the link below and you can have your colors done quickly and conveniently online and find out whether you are a spring, an autumn, winter, or a summer. And with my online color analysis, you do get a copy of the color card emailed to you and sent to you regular mail. But these color readings are for fun, just something that I like to do just to show you some different ways to utilize color in your life. Now, if you are a spring, I'm a spring myself, and typically our traits as a spring, we're bright, energetic, we're optimistic, we're very friendly, enthusiastic people, and we're also very approachable. A lot of times people will approach us when they're needing help, whether that could be directions or they're needing something else, just because of our disposition. We typically are quick thinkers. We're very spontaneous and idea driven. We jump on our ideas once we create them. We can be very lighthearted leaders. We motivate others with positivity, and we do thrive in environments with movement, creativity, and connection. Typically, our strengths as a spring, we're very warm people, we communicate well, we're very innovative, and our challenges typically, we may appear to be scattered when we're not, because again, we're always thinking outside the box. We're overly quick. We're impulsive sometimes, where we're just like, yeah, I'm going to do it, and boom, we do it without kind of making that plan first. So if that sounds like you and you have not had a color analysis done, I would encourage you to have one done. You might be a spring just like me. Now, because I'm doing an annual reading for 2026, and again, this is for entertainment purposes, I'm going to actually pull 6 cards instead of my standard 3 that I do for the monthly reading. And again, these are just colors that you're going to want to have around you, whether that's in a photo or I use the card deck for the Secret Language of Color cards. There's a link for that if you want to just purchase those cards, and you can use those, the exact same ones that I use, to have around you. These are things that you might want to have in a picture, on your desk, wherever. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick 6 cards for 2026. And we have gold as our first card, Attract Abundance. It's a great card. Let's see. Second one here, magenta, connect to your deepest inner knowing. Let's see which one's called to me. Brown, establish boundaries. This has been coming up in all of the other readings as well. And gray, learn to scan your body. Go towards the end of the deck here. Auburn, ground yourself. Got a lot of browns in this reading. And rose, attract a relationship. So my 6 cards for my springs are rose, auburn, gray, brown, magenta, and gold. So I'm going to start at the beginning here for gold. Now, gold is the color of attracting abundance. So whether that's a gold ring that you might be wearing, or a gold tone or gold plated ring, perhaps some jewelry, or you might have some photos or something that's on your desk that has gold in it. But with gold, when we look at this color card, or the color of gold, it does help us to attract abundance into our life, which I think is a great start to this color reading for spring for 2026. So when I look at this card, it makes me realize that I think so many of us have been struggling the past few years. And if you're listening to this reading and you've been struggling as well, This is definitely a great card because it's telling me as well, not just to kind of wish or wait, but to get started. You have some ideas, you have some things that you've been working on, or they've been in the background. So many people have been kind of resting on their laurels this past year and a half, of not wanting to make any moves. Everybody's like afraid to do anything. And this tells me you should hit the ground running in 2026. So if you've been thinking about starting a business, maybe you've been thinking about adding something new or starting a part-time job, this is a great time to do it. Again, get that money rolling in. Action begets other action, and it just creates that movement and good energy. So this is a great card to start off the new year with. So you want to make sure that you have gold toned accessories, just different things that you can look at. And again, this color deck is really great to have because you can just take the gold card and just stick it right there on your desk if you'd like. So that's a great one to start out with. The second card here, and it's been very rare that I've actually gotten this as a spring, but magenta, we want to connect to our deepest inner knowing. And I think that this really connects with the gold. So with magenta, it's telling us to connect to our deepest inner knowing. We might have, like I said, maybe it's an idea or a new service that you want to provide, or something new. Like you're like, you know what I've been doing the past couple of years hasn't been working, but I've been thinking about this other idea, but you've just been too afraid to kind of go for it per se. And both of these cards tell me that this might be your moment to go for it. Just do it. Sometimes when we really know in our gut that something is right for us, and even though it seems kind of out of alignment, or maybe we've shared our ideas with other people who don't have the same personality as us. And a lot of times when we do that, people, they look at things through their lens, and they may have a tendency to say, oh, don't do that. What if this happens? What if that happens? And if you are typically, like I said, usually a spring, we think of an idea, we're like, I'm on it, I'm doing it, and we're ready to run out the door. But sometimes we share it with other people who don't have the same personality traits as we do, and they may talk us out of it, or almost like pollute the environment with not negativity, but with their care and concern, looking at it through their lens. So our deepest inner knowing, we know we can do it. We know we're going to be okay. And so this is, if you've got an idea you've been sitting on, and I feel like some of you have, with the fact that I pulled this card, it tells me what's in your gut, what's in your deepest inner being, the things that you really know how to do, and you have gifts and resources that you can provide to the world. And yes, you should be paid for them. So if there's an idea sitting there, go for it. Now with Brown is establishing boundaries, and this card has been coming up a lot because, again, I think as springs, again, we're approachable. People do tend to come to us when they need help, and whether it's to bounce ideas off of us, or perhaps maybe they need directions to where they're lost or whatever, and they're just needing directions. They want to approach us, and we have to be very careful with our energy, because again, when we give too much to other people, we don't have enough for ourselves. And 2026, a lot of these cards are telling me and sending me a message that, hey, you need to put yourself first, okay? And by doing that, you got to establish boundaries. And whether this is, for those of you who are listening, this could be in your personal life, it could be in your professional life. Regardless, in order for us to grow, just like this little leaf plant here is growing, we have to have the right environment, the dirt, the healthy dirt around us that's, helping this plant grow. Same thing with us. If we don't put ourselves first, if we don't get the right amount of sleep, if we don't eat at a proper time, if we're working or trying to help someone else when we need to be helping ourselves, we'll never get anywhere. So we have to be really good about establishing boundaries, and that's from the get-go in 2026. So if you have been one of those people who, and I feel like there's some people who might be listening who might be in that space where, everybody comes to you for advice. Everybody's coming to you to say, hey, I need help with this. Or maybe you're getting a little bit too involved with social media. Some of you might be doing that too. And you're doom scrolling, as some people have called it. Or, you're seeing comments here and there. You need to establish boundaries for yourself that if it's not helping you, it's a hindrance. So don't do it. You know, people are entitled to their opinion, and once you start debating them, you get kind of sucked into that debate, and it doesn't, before you know it, 2 or 3 hours have passed and you don't get anything done. So establish boundaries for yourself personally and professionally with your time, your resources, which are your time, your finances, and everything else. Now, gray is learn to scan your body. So obviously this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, but if you've been feeling under the weather or you haven't had a checkup lately, I would definitely just say, go take care of, again, take care of yourself. That is the key thing for a spring in 2026 is we need to put ourselves first. So making sure mind, body, and soul that you are taking care of yourself in every possible way. And this could be too that, maybe you're, again, the New Year's is coming up and people always put on weight towards the end of the year. Maybe you're like, oh gosh, I need to lose a little bit of weight. Set a goal for yourself, whatever it may be, but just learn to scan your body. We intuitively, I think, know when something isn't right. So you want to make sure that you're, getting the help that you're needing, whatever that may be. It might be that you need to take a yoga class. Maybe it's mental health too. Maybe you need to just do an appointment with a therapist. There's so many great ways to do that now with telehealth and doctor on demand. You don't have to wait or go see somebody in person. So there's lots of different things, or it could just be journaling, or maybe just taking some time out for yourself or getting some extra rest. But make sure that you're getting in tune with what your body needs. Auburn was the other color, the other brown that I pulled. And auburn is all about grounding yourself. So when we set those boundaries in our life, we're able to, kind of get ourselves a footing, so to speak, where we have more solid ground to stand on. And that's the message that this card is giving me, is that there might be some of you who are again, like you've been floundering the past couple of years. A lot of people have, and, going back and forth, and it's just time to go, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to move forward. And once you start doing it, like you're into your new routine, whatever this may be, you're going to find that you're really going to be able to ground yourself more, where you are not going to get knocked off balance so quickly. Now, this could be with anything. It could be with your business. It could be with boundaries with family, or not feeling mentally drained by other people. And you're going to find when you set those boundaries and you stick to them, that again, like if you do have a really bad day or something pops up that's not that great that's happened, then you kind of know, oh wow, I can get back on my feet pretty quickly. I'm not going to get completely knocked off my feet like I have in prior years. So just grounding yourself. And again, this also kind of goes back to, it's also telling me routine. There might be some of you who have really gotten off of a routine, myself included. I've been guilty of this. Again, I'm a spring myself. But like going to bed at a certain time, getting up at a certain time, exercising every day, or whatever your exercise routine may be, or cutting and saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to work Monday through Thursday so I can take Friday off. Whatever that may be, make sure that you're grounding yourself in your routine. So when you have those established routines, when you have something that works for you and you're like, wow, this is really great, it's working for me, you want to keep hitting that button. You want to keep doing that. So, and that's all about grounding yourself and having a good routine that works for you. I find a lot of times people will say to me, oh gosh, I really want to work from home, or I want to have a business, and they're looking at what other people are doing, and that's okay. But always remember, you need to design your life around you and what works for you, because what works for me or what works for someone else may not work for you. Okay. So don't try to walk in someone else's shoe that might be 2 sizes too big or too small for you. Okay. Do what works for you. And the last one here that I pulled is Rose, attract a relationship. And I love this card too. Rose is such a beautiful color, and it's an offshoot of red. And this is, rose is typically, your roses and your pinks are the shades of love. Now, this may not particularly be a love relationship for you. Maybe this is attract a relationship for your business, or a partner, or it could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse. Whatever that relationship is that's been missing in your life, put a little time in for 2026 and figure out what that could be. Now, it could be that you need to find some new friends. Maybe you've moved to a new area and you are you don't really know anybody. You know, this is your sign to kind of go out there and sign up for some local classes or join a local organization and just make some new friends. You know, relationships don't always have to be a love relationship. It could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be, you know, again, a strategic partner for your business. Whatever that need is right now, definitely put some effort into it. If it's something for your business, go do some networking, go to a chamber event, go to a networking function and just start meeting people. And you might be surprised. I feel like some of you are going to go out there and you're going to go to different events and you're going to find somebody that you're like, wow, this is exactly what I needed and the person that I need to provide it. Or it could be a referral partner for your business, or maybe it's, you know, again, just making friends. Maybe you have, so many of us have, maybe you have outgrown where you're at with the people in your life and you need to find some new people who are going to uplift you and support you. And this card is telling you, hey, this is your invitation to do that. You know, so if you're looking for people who are doing things, you, again, you might want to join a group of entrepreneurs or maybe even start a group of your own. You know, so you're bringing new people into your life that are getting in front of you and you're getting in front of them and, you know, finding exactly what you need. But definitely make sure you're taking some time, you know, in 2026, if this is something that you've been looking for or feel like you're needing, take a little bit of time to go out there and network and meet some new people or attend a dance class or go to, you know, a new church or organization. And just meet some new people. And you might find that you're, wow, I'm so glad that I met this person. Because if you don't go out there and meet people, if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to meet new people. I mean, you can meet them online, but it's not the same as when you're in person, you know. So keep that in mind. So that is what I have for my dear Springs. Again, if you have not had a color analysis and you want to have one done, click on the link in the show notes below. Also, too, if you want to have a color reading specifically for you, you know, you can also do that too. We need to know what your season is. You have to know what that is, and you can actually do that too in the show notes below if that is something that you're wanting specifically. Again, these color readings are for entertainment purposes only, and these are colors, my dear Springs, that you want to have around you in regards to having, you know, the colors and photos or around your desk and so forth. But we have gold, magenta, auburn, gray, brown, and rose. So that is it today for my Springs, and I hope you all will come back and see me